And down, man down is looking like the real deal in NBA 2K24. Just look at this clip. We're watching this clip together, right? Look at this, right? Pump fake, get them to jump. As the defenders come down, you rise up. They don't have a hand up. It's open. So that brings us into our Kevin Durant build video, all right? Now, with these builds, again, think of them more as information, right? It's information about this type of build. So we're talking about tall, shooting, stretch big type of builds, all right? You're gonna see they heavily nerfed the three-pointer for taller builds, especially with the wingspan up, all right? So this is a 6'10 minimum weight with, I'm gonna put the wingspan up to max wingspan, 7'8 wingspan, you get a 76 three-pointer. You slap that wingspan all the way down to minimum at 6'10, you still only get an 86. And remember, this year, limitless range, bronze is 85, all right? So you're not gonna be out here on these 6'10 builds with, you know, gold limitless and all that stuff. It ain't happening this year. They just don't allow it, all right? So we're gonna look at a build with 6'10 height, minimum weight, and 6'11 on the wingspan, so we get that 85 three ball. And I'm thinking like, all right, a stretch big, KD vibes. First things first, max out the, well, not max out the shooting, but max out the three ball, and let's get that mid-range up to 86. And this is gonna give you gold, midi magician, right? But also this open looks badge, right? This is a new badge. We'll have to see obviously how it is. I'm interested to see. I'm interested for the new badges to see how effective they are, right? But you get it on gold. Up in that three ball to that 85 is gonna give you that bronze limitless. And I mean, listen, you need 92 limitless for silver. A lot of people are not gonna have silver limitless this year, especially on these taller builds, but 76 on the ball handle, 70 speed with ball, and then we're gonna put our pass accuracy up to 75, all right? That gives you the silver break starter and all that. Now remember, some of these badge caps changed. Now, if you're looking for the new up-to-date badge requirements, NBA2KLab.com has everything absolutely free of charge. A beautiful spreadsheet giving you every badge and every badge requirement you could need. They also have a ton of other free NBA 2K24 tools to sort through. And then, of course, they have their premium section where they have all the jumper data and jump shot timing recommender and everything to help you out finding the best shot for your specific build and play style in NBA 2K24. For the premium section, use code Joe to get a discount. But if you're looking for those badge caps and all that, that is absolutely free on NBA2KLab.com. All right, max out the excel, max out the speed. So we got a 70 acceleration even at 6'10", which is not bad with a 76 ball handle. The real question in terms of the excel and the ball handle, speed with ball, all that, is are there gonna be SIGs, dribble SIGs that are gonna allow you to move fluently and be explosive? Because that's a big determining factor if you're gonna be able to play like KD on a 6'10" build. All right. In terms of the physicals, I know the big strength debate for this build, KD minimum weight, I'm not gonna waste a lot of attributes into strength. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go without it, but you still get a badge on Hall of Fame that I'm interested to see how it's gonna work, especially on builds with low strength. We'll talk about that in just a second, all right? It is KD. I do wanna be able to dunk, and I'm not saying I need 99 driving dunk, but we're gonna have 85, which is pretty damn solid in terms of a Kevin Durant build. 80 on the layup. And then on your close shot, you're getting 81 close shot for silver fast twitch. So like the finishing ain't bad, right? You're gonna get, I think, the regular pro standing dunk, so at 50. So like, you're catching it in the paint, you're wide open, you should be able to dunk it. And worst comes to worst, you got enough close shot that you're gonna be able to lay it up. Now, one thing here, you see with the 85 driving dunk, we're only a 78 overall. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, I could go even higher. Like I could get a little bit more driving dunk and potentially unlock some more finishing badges or some finishing animations. And again, the animation requirements supposedly changed, but I went up to 87 on the driving dunk and 75 on the vertical. And at the time of Community Day, that unlocked the pro contact dunks off of 2, I think. So like you did have contact dunks. Now, that might change when the game comes out because I was told animation requirements have changed. But for this build, I got the basic package of contact dunks on this build. So that's a nice little thing. And now check out this defense, right? Defense actually is pretty damn solid. Watch. All right, so 81 D board, 87 block, and then 72 interior to get the silver anchor. We're gonna have good perimeter as well. We're gonna be able to put this up. Now remember, you do not get clamps because you are 6'10", but we do technically meet the requirement of 75, but we're just too tall. But you still have that rating for the lateral quickness and all that. And then on our steel, we're going to 72 steel. You know, you get bronze interceptor, bronze glove, and then on the O board, 78 O board. Overall, I feel like it's a pretty damn balanced build. Like, in terms of you have elite scoring, it really comes down to the stuff that we don't know yet. If you can get good sigs to move and groove, like in the park, this could be very, very viable as like a pick and popper, a secondary ball handler, as a guy who plays off the ball, but when you catch it, you're able to make a couple quick moves and pull up. Or use some of those new off-ball shooting badges, like that dexing badge, I forget what it's called. You know, you're coming off a pin down, or you're coming off a little dex, catch, rise up, hand down, man down, right? You're 6'10". If you got some 6'4" guard trying to close out on you, 6'6" guard trying to close out on you, you shoot right over their right over the top of them if they don't have a hand up. So, in my opinion, I usually do not like minimum wingspan builds. I love having long arms in 2K. I just feel like it helps with so much stuff. But to get like anything close to KD shooting ratings, you gotta lower that wingspan down. As you guys can see, I showed you what it was like at max wingspan. It's, you know, it's knocking your 3-ball down big time. But this is the badge I was talking about. Even with no strength, I get Hall of Fame big driver. Increases the chances of a blow by when attacking close to the basket, right? So this is like basically blow by badge for big men. And since you're 6'10", you know, I guess you're classified as a big man, you get this badge. So like, would this build, even with low strength, be able to get those big driver blow by animations to get in there for, you know, layups and dunks, standing dunks, all that? We have to wait and see. Or because you have low strength, if you're going up against somebody with that defensive badge, immovable enforcer, is that going to be a thing where you're just getting stoned, you're trying to drive, you're getting stonewalled? Like, we need to see how the game plays before we know, you know, what's good and what's bad. But we actually have one little badge point left, so we put it up to 76 perimeter. I think overall it's a pretty damn balanced, like, stretch big Kevin Durant build. Like, you're not a liability defensively. You have solid playmaking across the board. Your mid-range and three-pointer, in terms of how this builder works, is pretty elite, especially for a tall player. And then, like I said, you still got like the pro contact dunks off 2, good layup, fast twitch on silver, solid standing dunk. Overall, I feel like this is a pretty damn good build template. And if you decided to just go 85 and lower the vert down, you could even put this perimeter up all the way to 82 and get that silver challenger. And that's really helping your defense out, so that you could definitely tweak this how you want. Right? It all depends. If you want silver poster or bronze poster, you tweak it how you want. And that's why I try to tell y'all on the build videos, use them for informational purposes, especially these, because this was not a finished builder. We're getting a slightly tweaked version of this when the game drops, but a lot of good information in here. Like I said, with the Hall of Fame big driver, the shooting badges you unlock, you know, in terms of the wingspan affecting 3-point rating much more heavily than it did last year. I forget on a 6'10" last year what you would have got if you went like damn near minimum wingspan, but I believe it was in the 90. Like, I'm pretty sure you could have gold limitless range on like a 7-footer last year or something like that, or even maybe even taller. It ain't happening now. As you can see, even 6'10" minimum wingspan, you're only getting bronze limitless range. And that's the badge right there I was talking about in terms of the off-ball dexing and stuff like that. I believe spot finder improves a player's ability to quickly get open off the ball. So it's like, if it's hand down, man down, and then you have this like badge to help you dex and get open. If you dex and the pass drags you away from the defender, and then you rise up and they're late on the closeout, like, we're shooting over those like back in the day. Like, stretch bigs, I don't know, they might be viable depending on how good the dexing is. And, you know, like that clip we saw, if the defender's on the ground and you rise up and shoot, even if he's right, like up and tight right in your grill, if his hand's not up, it's open. These tall shooting builds, they might be real glitchy, especially on 2s. Like, you guys remember, like back in the day, like stretch bigs were a big thing on the 2s in 2K17, 2K18, 2K19. We'll have to see how the gameplay plays, but it might be. Like, stretch bigs might be going crazy. they might be going crazy on the twos. If you're dexing and shooting over people, that's gonna be big problems. Big problems for people. You got that midi magician if you want to go, you know, work on the post fades or just pull up in the mid range, shoot fades in the mid range. Imagine if you get a good fading animation on this build and you got silver blinders and you're shooting over people. Imagine you shooting, you know, you run away from them and you pull up on the fade. They're not even going to be able to contest. They're not going to be able to get a hand up. You know what I mean? So a lot of things to consider in terms of how the build might play. We won't know until we get the game in our hands though, man. And first try, guess who I get as the player comparison? Shades of Kevin Durant. That ain't bad. Build is called a 3-level threat. I think overall pretty solid build, you know what I mean? If you're looking for more builds, you got LeBron James build right there. 6'8" ISO build breakdown, strength, no strength, what's the best? You also got the full MyCareer builder breakdown over there if you want to check that out and just an overview of how the builder works. I appreciate y'all watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.